These are the supplements I use to manage my own ADHD. Now, first off, I want to talk about the supplements I used early on to tackle my ADHD when it was really bad. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about the ones that I use still currently today. So first off, back in college, when I was trying to figure this out, I had to work with some doctors to figure out how to really manage my ADHD. And the first one that really needed to be tackled was the significant amount of stress and anxiety I was dealing. I had a lot of test anxiety and it wouldn't allow me to focus. I was distracted just because of how stressed I was. And so the combo that my doctor put together, which was a tincture, a liquid form of a combination of synergistic herbs, really made a huge difference, especially for my adrenal gland function. And that was rimini root, ashwagandha root, licorice root, and also echinacea root. All four of these are really powerful when it comes to really lowering your stress levels and helping you focus and be more productive and efficient. I noticed a huge difference being on that, something that I definitely love recommending when someone is in this type of state with their ADHD. The second combo that I needed to use was something to help me to retain information better, to have better memory recall, because I definitely struggled with that, especially when I would take notes in college. And the two that I loved using at a very high dose was ginkgo biloba and bacopa monnieri, because both of these definitely increase blood flow and oxygen to the brain to help improve memory and memory recall. The third set is a couple essential oils that I've used and loved that helped a lot in college, and especially helping with my ADHD, was rosemary, because rosemary helped me, especially when I would study, because it would help me retain the information that I was studying for, but also help me be more focused and productive while I was studying. The other essential oil that I liked using was lavender, because lavender also helps with stress and helps you calm down. It's something I used while I would take my test and made huge difference for my ADHD to calm me down. Now, I get this a lot of different supplements that I'm going to be going over. So if you want to just follow along and download my ultimate ADHD supplement guide that I use with all my patients, that's in the description below that you can check out. Now, the next things that had to be tackled were certain things that we found in my test results that I was deficient in, and that was really impacting my ADHD drastically. The first thing that was off was my omega-3 levels. Now, omega-3 is really important for the brain. It's also a great antioxidant to protecting the brain. And so I took a fish oil at a very high dose of omega-3s, and that seemed to make a big difference. The other issue that I was dealing with is I had a lot of digestive issues back in the day. I had irritable bowel syndrome, and that definitely impacts your brain, because when the digestive system is not working properly, it definitely impacts how much that you're producing on specific neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, epinephrine that are made in the gut. And so I had to get that under control, because the gut and brain are very interconnected. And so the combo that my doctor was putting me on is that he put me on a pancreatic enzyme to help me digest foods, as well as put me on a betaine HCl because I was not producing enough stomach acidity to help break down the foods. And then also put me on Livoplex, which made a huge difference because the Livoplex helps support the liver, which not only helps with the digestive system, but it also does help with hormone balance and also detoxification in the body. And so these combos definitely helped me a lot in my early years. But then when I got older, especially when I graduated medical school, then I had other things in life that happened. I got married, had a kid, started to run a practice, and I was starting to get really burnt out. So I was reaching this state, which happens a lot with my patients and clients when they reach this complete burnout state as older adults. And so I did some more testing and some new testing that I came across that really opened my eyes on more things that were being missed with my ADHD. And the first thing that I saw that was really completely deficient was my phenylethylamine levels, which this is an excitatory neurotransmitter that is responsible for memory, focus, motivation, drive. And so I needed to supplement DL-phenylalanine, which is an amino acid that helps improve phenylethylamine. And I noticed a drastic improvement, not only in my memory recall, but I wouldn't forget things all the time, as well as my motivation and focus improved a lot when I started supplementing this. Then the other things that I did find in my testing is that my serotonin levels were elevated, which made a lot of sense because I was more agitated, stressed at the time back when I was starting as a new doctor and a new father and husband. So it definitely helped using something like L-theanine to help lower that, as well as rhodiola, which was another really big one that helps lower serotonin and help me be more calm, peace, and have that clear, focused mind. I love L-theanine, something I use with pretty much most of my patients because it's so effective. Some of the things that I did find in my test results is I was low on some specific B vitamins, especially vitamin B6, B12, vitamin B3, and also folic acid. Now, vitamin B6 is really important for all different neurotransmitters. And so it made sense that I was having some issues. Also, vitamin B12, I had low energy. And so that made a big difference by using B complex, but using the activated form of B vitamins. So like methylcobalamin, P5P, which is the activated form of vitamin B6. And so this made a huge difference in improving my focus and energy. And then the other thing that also I was low on was vitamin D. So I definitely supplemented vitamin D3, doing about 10,000 IUs. And I typically need to use this during the winter months because I live here in the Northwest, and that's why I was probably low. But also vitamin D is responsible for helping different neurotransmitters as well. And so it made sense that why it made such an impact for me supplementing that. Now, the last really big one that when someone is in a burnout state like I was back in the day is I found out that my cortisol levels were plummeted. They were really low and I needed to improve those. And it's something that's so common with us adults that get older. We reach this physical and mental burnout state. And typically it's because the cortisol levels might be off and they're too low and we're not producing enough cortisol. And so supplement that I love using and that I used was adrenal desiccated. And that made all the difference as far as my energy levels, my focus and motivation throughout the day. Now I get this is a lot. There's a lot of supplementation. And if you want my help on this and trying to figure out what labs to do and what supplements are going to be best for you, then you should click on the link in the description below to book your first appointment with me so I can help you figure this out for you to helping tackling your ADHD. Now, what are the supplements that I'm currently taking now? Because I have definitely narrowed it down because I've been able to manage my ADHD primarily without supplements, but there's definitely some key ones. And the reason why I haven't need to use so many supplements is because I've really dialed in my nutrition, detoxification protocols that I use to manage my ADHD, as well as stress management, as well as exercise, hydration, things that are really important to manage my ADHD without necessarily supplements. But there is still some key ones. And so the very first one for sure, and this is usually something I take on and off depending on the year and how stressed I'm out, how burnt out I am, how much I'm demanding on myself, and that is still taking adrenal desiccated. Now, like I said, I take this on and off depending on where my cortisol levels are at. And the second one that I still love taking is L-theanine because this helps me still be very calm and have a very clear thinking mind. That's what I love about L-theanine. And the third one that I will still take periodically is B complex because a lot of times it's hard to get enough B vitamins in your diet. And so it kind of helps just make sure that I get enough, but I also take that one periodically. And then the fourth one is definitely vitamin D3 because like I said before, I live here in the Northwest. So definitely in the winter months, I typically do need to take vitamin D3 because I tend to be low in it in the winter months and because I also work inside and I'm not usually outside enough. And therefore that's why I need to take it. And the last one I definitely do take is still periodically is DL-phenylalanine because I still tend to be a little bit low here and there on that. And that makes a difference for helping managing my ADHD. Now, like I said before, like supplements are great, but it won't really do anything for you until you know what you're deficient in truly. So you should watch this video next where I talk about the critical labs that every person with ADHD should be getting to identify what is the root cause for you and what supplements would be helpful for you. So watch this video next.